Let's talk about Lightroom presets. Lightroom presets are time savers, and the internet is full of people's presets which you can download and use in Lightroom if you like. But I'm going to show you how to create your own and how to reuse them on as many images as you want in the future. So first of all, you're going to want to be in develop mode in Lightroom, and over here on the left you should see a presets window. Lightroom comes pre-stocked with a good many presets which you can experiment and have fun with. But I'm going to show you how to make your own preset and then apply it to images and adjust it as needed. So right here I have a set of images that haven't really been developed yet, and I'm going to start making some changes to them. So here I'm going to just do a few adjustments, kind of bring the highlights down, you bring the shadows up, clarity up a little bit. I'm going to drop the vibrance down, play with some curves, and effectively alter this image quite a bit. Now, right now I'm just messing around to see what I can make it look like. I'm going to go down to split tones. I'm going to create some interesting split tones just so we have some obvious changes which have been made to this image. So now I've made several adjustments. I'm going to go down and give it some vignette just for fun. And this looks quite different than it did at the beginning. So here we go. That was my original, and here's the changes that I made. What if I want to apply these changes to future images? I can do that using development presets, and there's some considerations when choosing a preset and saving a preset that you need to know. So let's go to develop, to new preset, and you'll notice that you're given a dialog box with a lot of options to check or not check. You can either select check all or check none. And I find that very rarely would you ever want to select either of those. You don't really want to select check all or check none. You want to select the specific things you would like for this preset to change. So let's name it. We'll just call it cool preset. And choose a folder for it to go in. This is the default. It just goes into user presets. Now, what settings do we want this specific preset to affect? Well, I didn't change the white balance, so I don't really need to check that. But I did change a lot of the basic tone options. However, exposure, I didn't. That might be something that I want to leave the default on whatever image I'm applying this preset to. I very rarely include exposure in a preset because each image is exposed differently, so if I had changed exposure on this one, it might not look the same on other images. I did change the tone curve and the clarity, and I also changed the saturation, the vibrance, and color adjustments. I changed the split toning, and I added some post-cropping vignette. Now the reason I don't want these other things checked is because what if I had already been working on this image and I'd put some of these other options on it, and then I applied this cool preset? Well, if I had these checked, it would just zero all those previous edits out. That might be what you want, but a lot of times what I want to do is just apply this preset on top of all the other things I've already done to the image. So maybe I've already done some graduated filters or radial filters on the image, and I just want to add this preset on top. So then I don't want these options checked, or it's going to wipe out all my previous changes. But right now, anything that is checked is going to be overwritten when you apply this preset. So I'm just going to create this cool preset, and you'll see that it appears here on the left in my preset window. Let's go to another image. Here's another image from the same set. Let's go down here to cool preset and apply it. And immediately all the changes are applied to this image just like the one before it. Now what if I like this preset, but I want to make a little bit of an adjustment. So maybe I want to change the split toning just slightly. So I don't really like the color there. I'm going to change this to a little like cooler blue, more saturated. Okay, that's better. But I want this to be my preset now. So I want to overwrite the preset that I had. Instead of making a whole new one, I can come over here, right click on my preset, and update with current settings. Now when I do that, I'll get my dialog back. I'm going to keep everything the way it was, hit update. And now I have the new settings. So when I go to an image and hit Cool Preset, I have updated settings with these new options. This is a quick and easy way to make your own settings to save them and use them in the future. Now, real quick, here's some ways that I like to use presets. Some things that I like to do with it is automatically creating some black and white modes. So instead of just desaturating things, I like to put a little contrast in my black and white, add a little bit of grain, do a little bit of color tweaking, and I do that, turn it into a preset, and then I can apply that immediately to images. It's a lot of work already done for me. Now, usually I find myself needing to tweak a little thing here or there, but on the whole, this saves me a great deal of time. Also, there are some common adjustments I make, such as contrast, clarity, saturation, and I make them on almost every image. So if there are some pretty common things that I do, like boosting contrast or boosting saturation, I make myself a little preset that I call First Pass. And when I click this First Pass preset, it really does kind of the just really basic things. It gives a little more clarity, a little more saturation, a little more contrast. And I can apply that to a whole batch of images even before I start editing them. And usually that's something I'm going to do anyways, just saves me a little time. You can find all kinds of creative ways to use presets, but I suggest that you do and share them with the world. You can right click and export a preset and then upload that preset file for other people to come and insert into their own Lightroom program and then use your preset. It's a way to share your styles with the world. You can also find other people's presets. I have a couple on my own website at josephbrewster.com. You can find them online. There are lots of free ones or paid ones or whatever you want to get and import them yourself. Presets are a time saver. You can select multiple images. You can apply the same preset to multiple images all at the same time. It's just a great way of using Lightroom to your advantage to speed up your workflow.